we stepped onto the pitch last weekend with confidence and positivity in our minds and really believing that we were going to be able to do a good job against a team who is ranked quite high in the division.
Good quality.
Last game, we played another good team based on their league position, but honestly, during the entire match, we felt like we were in the game and didn't feel like they had anything special, anything over us on a technical or tactical level. We said goodbye to our captain, Ruben.
It's your boy, Ruby Booby.
As he headed back to Canada with a trial in Greece on the cards in the second division over there. Naturally, with Ruben gone, our team needed to appoint a new captain. And our manager, our coach Dean, he put it to the team to cast votes on who we believed should be our next leader, our next captain. And so last week it was decided that Ethan, our left winger from the US, is going to be our captain for the rest of the season, and I'm going to be the vice captain. Ruben is of course a loss for us, being the leader in the way that he plays, giving 100% every time he steps onto the training pitch or the matchday pitch, but I'd be lying to say that I'm not looking forward to and haven't been excited by the opportunity of being vice captain of this team. For me personally, nothing has really changed on the training pitch. It's just that I'm a little bit more aware and I remind myself a little more often in terms of the example that I have to set as a leader in the team and how I have to demand higher standards of myself than I do of others. I think often as leaders or as people who want to set an example for others, we think that we should tell, we think that we should encourage, and we think that we should speak. But I think the best form of leadership is through action. It's through giving 100% every time that you step on the pitch. It's through communicating in the way that you wish others to communicate to each other and back to you as well. And in that sense, you're able to set the tone for the rest of the team and show people what you believe that they should be doing. With that in mind, we stepped onto the pitch last weekend with confidence and positivity in our minds and really believing that we were going to be able to do a good job against a team who is ranked quite high in the division. We played a 3-5-2 formation. I was playing in the right side of centre mid. And we started off the game well in possession but poorly out of possession. One of our new signings, who's truly a central midfielder, was playing as right wing back, and me and him struggled to dictate the press and who was meant to go at what time to put pressure on the opposition back line when they were playing out of the back. This created gaps and left us a little bit vulnerable in midfield, especially when the opposition decided to drive forward with their left-sided centre back. Myself and Raf tried to speak about it during the first half, but really struggled to pin down the triggers and what we needed to change in relation to the strikers' positions as well. Having said that, there were a couple of times in possession where we linked up really nicely across the right-hand side. Raymond, who was playing as one of the strikers, but who is truly a number 10, dropped deep many times to offer support and combine with either myself or Raf or other central midfielders to help us get out of tight spaces. Owen, our left-footed central defensive midfielder, often showed inside and provided support through which we could switch the play to the other side. And overall, I believe that our game was very consistent and very brave in the first 2/3 of the pitch. We trusted each other, we combined, and we played through with a little bit of quality. It was just that cutting edge in the final third which we seemed to lack as a team, and which we've seemed to be lacking for a lot of the season so far. We created a few good chances. Ethan whipped in a nice cross at the front post for Andres to attack. Raymond capitalised on an opposition mistake and had a shot from outside the box, but we just didn't have that finishing touch. And as we've been taught so many times in football this season, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you make out of the game. And in a moment where we played back to our centre-back with a tough pass to control, we created opportunity for them to press and put pressure on our back line, from which they capitalised. Truthfully, the opposition had a good number of opportunities to score in that game, and our back line did well with some last-ditch tackles and some emergency defending on the line. But it very much felt like our downfall was our own doing. It didn't feel like the opposition had come out and played us off the park or really dominated us in possession and with a high level of quality. It was a couple of moments in the game where they either got lucky or we made a mistake and handed them an opportunity which they gladly took. Personally, I was quite happy with the way that I played in possession. I tried to remain relaxed before the game and during it as well, and just focus on the process, focus on linking up with my teammates and not trying to do everything myself. As I mentioned, there were a few nice bits of link-up play going forwards and helping us to recycle the ball round to the weak side of the opposition. While, of course, as in any game, there were aspects which I really want to brush up on and make sure that I don't repeat the same mistakes again. I try not to focus on those negative aspects of the game too much and put positive images of me playing well into my mind. I've even gone as far to watch back some of my highlights and watch back some of the best actions that I took during the game before training sessions, so that I feel myself with confidence and I feel myself with the feeling that I'm able to deliver the same high quality performances again in training. For any of you guys struggling with confidence, I think using match footage or even just your imagination to remind yourself of the moments where you've played really well can be a helpful tool to build your confidence back up. A good technique for this can be remembering a game where you played exceptionally well and putting yourself back in those boots, back in that position, and remembering how it felt. How did the pitch look? How did you look on the pitch? How did you feel within your body? Did you feel confident? What was your body language like? How did other people perceive you? What would of the fans have seen or your parents have seen if they were watching the game? Filling your mind with this positive imagery can go a long way towards producing higher quality performances on the pitch. Remember that people can only ever achieve what they believe is possible for themselves. With it being no secret that our performances and mainly our results so far this season have been far from what we wanted, I had a conversation with Matt Murray, the captain of the under-23s last season, and he explained that the environment in training was very ruthless. It was one in which players turned up every single day and knew it was going to be a battle, knew that it was going to be absolutely brutal in training. But that meant that when they got to the weekend, they never felt as if they had to raise their game. It reminded me very much of Rio Ferdinand or Roy Keane speaking about the old man new dressing room and the training sessions where everything would be 100%, every 50-50 would be 100%. And by the time you got to the weekend, you knew that it was actually going to be easier than training. Reflecting on our own season so far, it's been the opposite. It's been that our training sessions have been quite nice. It's been trying to be friends with each other. It's been trying to build each other up, but not really going 100%, being a little bit afraid to put in a challenge which might hurt our teammate. While the intention behind this is clearly positive, you're trying to build each other up, you're not trying to hurt each other. I think the results have been negative because you're not actually improving each other. If you're going 100% into a 50-50 and I pull out, then you win the tackle and you start on the weekend. And then I have to have a think about, what do I want to do? Do I want to rise to the level, or do I want to hide and choose not to be in the team? So with that in mind, myself and Ethan and some of the other players, some of the other leaders in our team have been really trying to bring a level of intensity, of professionalism to our training sessions this week. And while sometimes the emotions do spill over, sometimes people get frustrated at each other and they shout and someone goes into a 50-50 maybe a little bit too strong. I'd rather have that side of it, where people are angry and people transform that anger into action, than when people are frustrated and they put their head down and turn away from their player. I feel like the way that we've been battling with each other so far in training this week has set the tone so nicely for this weekend to be something that we go into and dominate. While we may have a couple of positional issues in the sense that Ruben, our old captain, is headed back to Canada, Mac, one of our centre backs, is headed back to Wales, and Andres, our striker, is headed back to the US due to visa issues, I think this is a moment where the team is going to come together and be stronger than the sum of its parts. Whether I'm starting or not, I have a high level of confidence in our team that we're going to go out and give the best versions of ourselves and leave everything on that pitch. And I know that I've said this before, but this time feels different. This time is not based off hope or a maybe. This time is based off faith. This time is based off what I've seen from Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, every single training session being 100%. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. What do I say? Say whatever you want.
Be on the spot. Thank you for watching Loki Kapoor's videos. It's been an absolute pleasure. Love you guys.